What's up, zoners? This year's NFL free agency was crazy, man. One of the craziest that I can remember. All of the big moves have pretty much been made. And each of these moves have winners and losers. We're going to be going over all of the losers today. If that sounds interesting to you, hold on for 7 seconds. What's up, zoners? This is Tyler, Big Turd Ward, and Jason, the lucky bastard youthful, coming at you live from the West Coast. And this is the Fantasy Red Zone. Hey, man, we have a great episode for you today. We're going to be talking about losers. We'll be talking about winners sometime in the future. So if you're into winners, hold on for that. Please watch this episode. Dear God, help us. And before we talk about that, Jason, we need help, man. And we need your help talking about how the public can help this show. Let them know how they can help us, because we need it. We need it bad.
You know how I can tell when you're serious? It's when you bring it down. You bring it down a notch. And hey, everybody, you know, if you made it this far, please hit the subscribe button. Yeah, please go ahead and do that. Press the like. You know, we like the likes. And leave a comment. What do you think about the top 10 losers? Is there another free agent loser that you prefer, that you know about? Let us know. Let us know. We're also on the radio, the Fantasy Football and Zone. Oh, crap. We're also on the radio on Spotify at the Fantasy Red Zone. All right.
Thank you, Jason. I'm sure we're going to get subscribers after that. But hey, man, if you don't want to subscribe after that, please subscribe. Dear God, we need it. You're saving a life, man. Give 40 cents to the kids in Africa. Give a subscription to us. Dear Lord, we need it.
You're saving a life, man.
Saving a life. All right, man. A lot of news. Free agency has been nuts. Like I said, dude, I was just telling Jason, I'm going all this news. I don't even remember what we covered, what we did not. There's been so much shit, more so than even during the regular season. So, Jason, we're going to be covering the news right now.
Okay.
News. Just so people know where we are, man. This is fucking shit. Chapters in our lives. All right, Jason, did you see Justin Fields, man? What did Kenny Pickett go for? It was a 6th-round pick, I'm pretty sure. So, Justin Fields to the Steelers for a 6th-round pick. It can turn into a 4th-round pick, Jason, if he plays a certain amount. But I mean, he already said he will back up Russell Wilson if he has to. He only had like 2 teams on his destination, Jason, and the Steelers were one of them. So even though the Bears could have got a little bit more from somebody else, they did Justin Fields right, send him to one of his spots that he wanted to go to.
Yeah, and there is a chance that he might get some playing time. You know, Russell Wilson could possibly get injured or just get benched he was benched last year. One of those things we'll just have to wait and see. But I think the interesting thing is that he is paired up with Arthur Smith. And I do know when Arthur Smith was on the line of Falcon, people were suggesting maybe Fields might be going to the Falcons and it could be a good fit with him and Arthur Smith because he's a running quarterback.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, and I think that for what Arthur Smith wants to do, I mean, I'd rather have Justin Fields than Russell Wilson at this point in his career. So, yeah, I think it's going to be a 50-50 on who starts that next season, Jason. But I do think the money, because of Russell Wilson, we talked about this before. Actually, I think it's 75% Russell Wilson. I think that Russell Wilson is going to have to lose his job because he took a league minimum, vet minimum. He could have charged the Steelers a lot more, but this was under the condition that he will be the starting quarterback. I think that what's his name will honor that, and he'll at least get the start for a couple games, at least 3-4 games, then get his ass kicked out by whatever his name is. Yeah, Justin Fields, and I'd rather have Justin Fields for upside. All right, Jason, this one is going to hit close to home. Leighton Vander Esch, man. Do you remember, who was it? It was the Smith and Vander Esch. 6 years in the league, I'm pretty sure, dude. He is retiring. Did he retire a Cowboy?
I thought for a minute I saw that he signed with another team.
Dude.
And then that was a couple of days ago. Then I got the notification today that he's retired. So I don't know what him going to another team was all about. But, it is what it is. There was a time where it was like him and you said Jalen Smith, right? Was it Jaden Smith?
Yeah.
Those were some top linebackers for the Cowboys. And now, neither of them play. But injuries, he had neck injuries at Boise State, and it just carried over to the NFL, and he wasn't able. He has to medically retire, apparently.
But dude, he was like Micah Parsons for a minute, Jason. He was insane. Him and that Jalen Smith. I think it was against the Saints. They were killing the Saints.
Oh, yeah.
I don't
Yep.
remember why I know that, but whatever. I think I had made a prediction that they were going to do well against them, and they did. Anyways, Jason, Chase Young to the Saints. Speaking of the goddamn Saints, Chase Young to me, Jason, is now the new Jadeveon Clowney. He's going to be just going everywhere. And like for 1 year deals, when people are desperate for that burst or whatever, dude, but he's never going to stick around somewhere. He is not a leader, dude. He lacks effort, even when you're going for the goddamn Super Bowl, Jason. A 1 year deal for $13 million. So for the Saints, they're still trying to get their, they used to be known for their offensive line and their pass rushing. They still have that defensive head coach, Dennis Allen. But yeah, dude, I don't think it's going to make that big of a difference for him.
Yeah, I think that was a good comp that you had with Clowney, too, because, big hype's coming out of college. And then, I don't know if it's just because Young tore his ACL, but he just has not been the same since he's returned.
Yeah, dude. And it's like, even if he tears a shit, maybe he's afraid to get injured until he gets a long-term deal or something. But just when you're lacking effort, but it wasn't just him, Jason. It was a lot of that defense that was lacking effort. So who knows? Could have been that defensive coordinator was not doing any. Steve Wilkes was not doing them any favors. Here we go, Jason. The Texans uniforms. The Texans coming out with new uniforms are like, holy shit, man! We got attention on us. We got to do something here. We got to do something. Did you see them at all?
Yeah, they were leaked out, apparently.
Oh, that's why they were like, and then the owner came out and just fucking posted them all over the place. He's like, yeah, leak this shit. So, yeah, I thought they were cool. I thought they were kind of lame, but the horns, Jason, I'm a Vikings fan, dude. The horns on the helmet are sweet. Dude, the Texans have horns on their, shoulders. Pretty sweet.
Oh, that's pretty cool. So it's like when they spear you, you're going to feel it.
Goldberg, dog.
Goldberg.
Yeah, it's like getting a red flag, man. You better not be wearing red against the Texans. Remember that psychopath dude, Brian Cushing? He's like, fucking boom, boom. He's all steroids. Steroids what? So
yeah.
What do you say? Starting piece of the squad. Starting the squad. What does Latimer say, Jason?
It was starting lineman or something like that. Yeah,
dude. Man.
And he hits his head on the window glass or for the car.
Yeah, and he's going around though, but he said something stupid.
He's all starting
seat at the table. Woo! Maybe something like that. Anyways, dude, enough of that shit. Jason, the Panthers starting center, Bozeman, signing a 1 year deal with the Chargers. If you remember last season, man, the Chargers lost their starting center, Will Clapp, and he had season-ending injury. And, dude, we know what the fucking Jim Harbaugh wants to do, Jason. All offensive line all the time, just ground and pound. They traded away all their wide receivers, and they need a good center. They do not want to rely on a guy that just tore his shit all up. So they went out and did the best they could. I'm sure they'll be drafting some as well. But, Jason, man, this is a good sign for whoever's running the ball for the Chargers.
I will clap at this pickup by Jim Harbaugh. Yeah, this is
that's
this
good.
Is what he does. This is what he does. He starts with the offensive line and he's doing it. So no surprise here. He's trying to beef it up a little bit.
Yeah, I think it's great. So it's just playing towards what we think is going to happen with Jim Harbaugh. And here we go, Jason. My Alexander Madison. I told you not to fucking draft him. Told you not to draft him, didn't I? Dude, he's meeting with the Raiders on Monday. Right now, I think it's Zamir White only for the Raiders, Jason, unless I'm mistaken. There's been a lot of people going around. I might be tripping. But as of right now, I think it's Zamir White. So bringing in Alexander Madison, maybe, dude, fuck that. If they draft somebody, I will be picking up that dude, or I'll be picking up Zamir White over Alexander Madison.
I like Zamir White. I think even if Madison goes there, I think he's going to have to play behind Zamir White. I feel like there's no way he proven that he's taken a starting role in the league. But Zamir White has. I think the other player there, Tyler, I could be wrong, is Amir Abdullah.
Oh, maybe.
Maybe they're just trying to bulk up that running back depth chart. But I like Zamir White. And we'll talk about him probably next week.
I don't give a fuck about Abdullah, man. Ever since he was on the Lions, he had a couple, 6 good games, 4 good games, 3 good games. All right, man. That is the news. Jason, let's get into the losers, man. The biggest losers from free agency. We're talking about fantasy football wise, so no matter what, and really probably real life wise, because this is going to eat up their, I mean, it's all opportunity pretty much. And opportunity, man, less opportunity you have, the less opportunity you're going to have to prove yourself to make more money on your next contract. So this is some real world shit going on right here, Jason.
True that.
Who do we have, man, for number 10?
Just Dameon Pierce.
Oh, God.
Yeah,
Dude.
this one was kind of, Anyway, Dameon Pierce. Pierce lost his job to Devin Singletary during the 2023 season. And it's like, what happened to Dameon Pierce? Everything dropped. All his statistics dropped. In 2022, he averaged 4.3 yards per carry. But in 2023, Pierce averaged just 2.8 yards per carry across 145 attempts. His fantasy points per opportunity was 0.51. His fantasy points per game was 5.9. And 43rd in the league with only 8.3 oh my gosh. Expected, Jesus Christ. Expected fantasy points per game. Woo! It's Monday. He was 47th in yards created, and his juke rate and his evaded tackles were way, way down below in suck territory.
What?
Woo! He needs to do more of that because it didn't save him a starting role this year. But maybe there's a chance of great things to come with Texans, letting Singletary sign with the Giants. It looked like Pierce was once again going to be a starter in a high-scoring offense. Well, that's false. Joe Mixon signed with the Texans, and the Joe Mixon trade to Houston cements Pierce's fate to strictly be a backup running back in 2024. So we had a chance of maybe picking up a starting running back late in the fantasy draft because it was just going to be just him. But because they picked up Joe Mixon, it's that's completely off the table. Now I think Dameon Pierce is irrelevant. Completely.
Yeah, Jason, I learned a valuable lesson this season because I drafted Dameon Pierce. I did not like where he was going. But I drafted him in one of my leagues because I knew that I was trying to not have all the same people in my league. So I was like, oh, I'm going to zig and zag, one league. I should just draft people that I like in every single league, man. Not try to force any shit. Just in case I'm wrong. And yeah, man, he averaged under 3 yards a carry, dude. And, his strength is running in a phone box or phone booth. Yeah, running in a phone booth with power and everything. And, dude, that guy could not break tackles. Everything he did his freshman year, dude, just reversed. I don't know what it was. The only thing that we could say, dude, different scenery, man. Head coach, everything changed. Offensive scheme changed. Quarterback changed. But, Devin Singletary went in there and took care of work. So, I don't know, man. Dameon Pierce was fucking awesome, man.
Yeah.
And then just hit the shit like this, so.
And it's just so weird because, he lost his starting role to Devin. And then we're like, well, Devin Singletary is not going to play well because Dameon Pierce ain't playing well. But then Singletary went out and had a good season. And we're like, what is the matter with Pierce? Why did he fall back? He fell off the cliff completely.
And Jason, they had hit their opportunity. Teams had, at the end of the last season, Dameon Pierce was shelved. It was all Devin Singletary for the most part. Teams could have traded for him that needed a running back, and they did not. So it's even teams in the NFL were like, no, dude, we don't need this fucking dude. So, yeah. And the more I think about it, the more I'm like, dude, Dameon Pierce, man, you're screwed. Especially when they bring in Joe Mixon. They're going to bring in Joe Mixon, just to pass protect and not mess up, dude. He's not like he's going to, kill it. But, yeah. He's going to fill that Devin Singletary role, no problem. Maybe even a little bit better than Devin Singletary.
And he's a 3-down back.
Yeah, all right. Well, so yeah, Dameon Pierce, is just totally off the map, just like he was week 10 on last season. And Jason, Joe Mixon, I'm thinking third, fourth round, maybe, because you're going to be depending on dude, Devin Singletary got a ton of touchdowns, man. They just run the fuck out of the ball. So if you could get Joe Mixon third, fourth round in that high scoring offense, you'll get a lot of touchdowns.
What would you pick Joe Mixon if he stayed with the Bengals?
fucking, I know, and that's what's crazy, dude. I mean, it's I like 4th or 5th round. So now I'm saying like 3rd or so now I'm moving him up around just because of CJ Stroud in that offense. You know,
Yeah,
it's a
so you
different
upgraded.
offense, man.
You
Yeah,
upgraded then.
yeah. That is a good point though, Jason. Just because I think the Joe Burrow, those I don't know if he got. I don't know, man. I don't know. I have to think about that more. Anyways, Jason, let's get into the next guy. Who is it for me? Tyjae Spears. Oh, that's not even my next guy, but I'm going to go with him anyways. This guy, Tyjae Spears, man. Hey, Jason, I owned him. I thought I was going to be like, dude, I thought he was going to overtake Derrick Henry last season. And then Derrick Henry finally fucking got right. And it went back to like 50-50 timeshare, whatever. Tyjae Spears, man, running back 34. He was set. Like, literally, we've been talking about it, Jason. I will draft. I'm hoping people forget about Tyjae Spears. I'm hoping people forget about Tyjae Spears. Well, guess what, man? Now they're really going to forget about Tyjae Spears. Derrick Henry went to the Ravens. Fucking A. Derrick Henry went to the Ravens. Henry led the league in rushing attempts. So there's a huge void, Jason. A giant void. He finished as running back 8 and was 14th in yards per carry with 4.2. Spears was 14th in the league with 4.5 yards per carry, so he was more efficient. He ranked 5th in explosive run rate, Jason, and 7th in target share. So when he does get the ball, he is explosive, and he is a good pass catcher. So you're like, holy shit, man, this is all the ingredients for a low-end running back 1 for like, in the 3rd round, 4th, whatever, maybe. And then, yeah, dude. So the Pollard to Titans on a 3-year, $24 million deal. That kind of fucked everything up. Pollard was less efficient last year with 4.0 yards per carry. He is at 4.8 for his career. So usually he's like at 5.0. That 4.0 brought him down. He blames his broken leg, Jason. Why he did bad. He's like, hey, man, I broke my leg. I had surgery. I didn't feel right until like week 16 or some shit. Then I started doing well. And if you look at the stats, he did. So there is a chance that Pollard bounces back. He is the bigger back, Jason. So whoever's going to fill that Derrick Henry role might be Pollard. Let's see. He did great from that week 11 on. But, dude, during the fantasy playoffs, Jason, he averaged like 6 fantasy points per game. It was all under 8 points per game. So he lost you in the championships. He just lost you a league. But, Jason, Tyjae Spears had everything pointing up for him. And now he's got Tony Pollard, who they got on a discount kind of because he did not do well last season. I mean, fuck, dude, 3 for 24, so that's like $8 million a year. Yeah, that's kind of a discount for Tony Pollard. He was almost set to like make a ton of money, Jason. What else was I gonna say? I can't remember, and I think that's about it.
Okay, so I'm looking at the snap percentage for him last year. Tyjae Spears his snap percentage was 53.
Oh, that's what I was gonna say.
And Tony Pollard was 71, which is pretty high. I feel like, I don't know, I guess he was on the field quite a bit. You just didn't notice because he wasn't doing any breakaway speed or anything. But do I personally think he's going to have 71% again this following year? No, I don't think that. Things could change. I'm seeing this as straight like maybe like a Nick Chubb, Kareem Hunt type thing. Like they take turns on a drive, right? You start off with Nick Chubb. Next drive is Kareem Hunt. Next drive is Nick Chubb. There's a possibility for that. These guys, I feel like, are almost the same player.
I'm trying to think of a comp, Jason. Like what can you expect? What can you expect out of a bad offense with the timeshare between two? Like, I mean, I don't know, whatever running backs, good running backs.
Yeah.
Like Antonio Gibson and Brian Robinson. They were both startable sometimes. It was mostly Brian Robinson. That's probably going to be Tony Pollard. And Tony Pollard, Jason, tweeted out that he is ready to split time. Ready and excited to split time with Tyjae Spears. So
I think Tony Pollard, how he played last season behind that good offensive line, and now he's going to a worse offensive line. I feel like both these wide receivers, maybe majority of their points are going to be coming from PPR.
Yeah, the running backs, dog. And you said wide receivers.
Oh,
Uh,
my bad. Running
I
backs.
know, I'm just messing with you. But yeah, so just a real quick thing. Tony Pollard, I will be probably ranking higher than, maybe like 4th round or some shit like that, 5th round. But I will be looking to get Tyjae Spears over. I much like the value of Tyjae Spears over what's his name? Just like I like Gibbs over. No, just like I liked the value of or David Montgomery over Gibbs last season. I like the value of this guy.
Yeah,
Whatever. I like the ADP relative to what you can get. So
absolutely.
I'll be drafting Tyjae Spears, Jason. I will not be drafting Tony Pollard.
And we'll have to wait a little bit longer
Just
to
a
see
little bit longer.
Tyjae Spears hit final form. I still think he could be quite productive in this league if given the opportunities.
He's badass, man. I really like him. All right, Jason. Next up.
Roschon Johnson.
Oh my God.
Yeah, all right. He played 38% of the Bears snaps as a rookie, and it's hard to see this increasing much after Chicago signed Diontae Swift to a $14 million in guaranteed money. Roschon will now compete with both Khalil Herbert and Swift at 2024. Last season, Johnson only had 81 attempts on the ground. He was battling touches with Khalil Herbert, Justin Fields, and Diontae. Oh my God. Oh my gosh, I almost just died right there. Deonta Foreman. Well, Fields is gone, and Foreman, he's sending out these encrypted messages, and he will likely not be on the team next year. I don't. He's going through something. He's going through something. I thought we were going to see a 2 running back split, and Roschon did show some speed and talent last year, and he looked scary in the passing game. But after the Bears signed Swift to $14 million, it appears Swift is going to be that guy for next year. And I'm sure Khalil Herbert will be more of the number 2 back for the Bears for how strong he finished last year with back-to-back games of 100 yards in Week 16 and Week 17. And the season yards per attempt was 4.6, is better than Roschon's 4.4. Roschon can easily become a distant memory because of Swift and Khalil Herbert in the same backfield.
Jason, I don't know why this was a huge loser for fantasy wise. I would have picked up Roschon Johnson with fucking Caleb Williams, Jason, and everything that all the wide receivers I got going on over there. Oh my God, I was thinking that, and now you do not know because Khalil Herbert is good, man. Roschon Johnson is probably the best goal line back when you watch them play. But Khalil Herbert, as far as he's elusive, man, like 5.0 yards per carry probably on his career. And if you look at all those explosive rates and everything last year before he got injured, he was in the top 5. I remember that. Look at all that next-gen stat shit. And then Roschon Johnson, a rookie drafted by this coaching staff, Jason. And then they bring in DeAndre Swift. So who am I drafting out of all this? Who am I drafting? I probably will draft Khalil Herbert.
Because of his value, his ADP.
Because he's going to probably go solo. And then maybe even Roschon Johnson, because I bet you Roschon Johnson goes after Herbert. So I am not going to be getting DeAndre Swift. I probably will get Herbert super fucking late, man. And then I don't know. I think he will be a great late round gamble because this offense could put up some points. Jason, they drafted a top offensive lineman last year. I think Paris Campbell.
Yeah,
and so their offensive line is not that bad as far as run blocking goes. I think they're middle of the pack if I remember right. But yeah, man, I think it's a huge loss because there's a huge opportunity for somebody here, Jason, and it's just a clusterfuck, dude.
There was games last year where Herbert was averaging 5 and 6 yards per carry. He's definitely awesome. Undervalued. Yeah, he's undervalued in fantasy football.
And you watch him, and it's like, dude, it fucking looks like he's good too. So
yeah.
All right, Mr. Jason, let's go on to let's go Rhamondre to the next Ramon. I can't fucking make a joke at it. That name is too long. I was gonna be like, let's move Andre to Rhamondre Stevenson.
Yeah,
he was running back. He was running back 35, Jason, last season. All right. Rhamondre Ramadan.
There you go.
I think Ramadan's like a religious holiday. I'm pretty sure
it is.
There you go. Yeah, so Rhamondre Stevenson, Jason, he was running back 35. Do you remember what he ended at in 2022?
He was a top 10, wasn't he?
He was running back 10, Jason. Great
There
job.
you go. Yeah.
So, yeah, dude, he missed the final 5 games of this season. He was 29th in the league, 4 yards per carry. This offense, Jason, took a shit. Went all the way backwards. New offensive coordinator, Billy O'Brien, man. They literally could not do anything for, I don't know, a long time, man. Let's see, he was running back 10. So he pretty much made up his, proved his value to his ADP after they got out of the funk, Jason, because he was doing terrible. All of a sudden, they started doing well weeks 9 through 12. He was running back 10. And he was 13th in forced missed tackles in that 3-week sample size after ranking 33rd in missed tackles through the first 8 weeks. And I don't think anything had anything to do with him, man. I think it was just this offensive line of this offense trying to figure it out and come together. He did have a career high, Jason, in receptions with 48. So people forget, man, but he got so many targets and so many receptions that like it was his bread and butter. And now they're going to be bringing in a rookie quarterback more than likely. Let's see. Dude, only Keyshawn Vaughn and Jermichael Hasty and Kevin Harris were on the roster. So, man, hey, rookie quarterback, or all this shit was lining up for Rhamondre Stevenson to bounce back huge, man. I would tell you to draft him. Like, dude, this is going to be another huge value running back. Oh, my God, dude. And then they signed, who was it? Antonio Gibson. Dude, I need to read this correctly, Jason. So Antonio Gibson signed a 3-year, $11.25 million contract. That sounds like a long time, but it is really just a puffed up 1-year contract. They can get out of it after 1 year. So that's not a lot of commitment to them. They are still way more committed to Rhamondre. But Jason, Gibson ranked 1st in forced missed tackles per attempt and 8th in yards after contact per attempt. He had only 4.1 yards per carry. So he's not that explosive. But Jason, he was 1st in forced missed tackles per attempt. I'm like, what the fuck, dude? This was on fantasypros.com. I tried to find other things. I don't know, dude. I couldn't find that stat anywhere else, and I'm like questioning my life.
That's my MVP.
Dude, it was Jason's MVP. But I do want to say, Jason, Antonio Gibson's main strength when he split time with Brian Robinson was pass catching. So this is a huge loss for Rhamondre Stevenson because he makes a lot of his points catching passes.
Yes, and Tyler, I think you said that Stevenson's career high in receptions was like 48.
Yeah.
It's actually 69 in 2022.
Dude, I swear to God, I read that too, and I was like, I think that Fantasy Pros took a fucking dump. Like, I don't know who writes this.
Yeah.
Who writes this? Because I was like, did you? I bet you they put the wrong player, Jason.
Maybe, yeah.
Because I was like, Antonio Gibson's 1st in forced missed tackles. I think that we would have heard about that before.
Maybe they did, because that kind of does not sound like Antonio Gibson.
Dude,
Maybe
that's what I was like.
Fumbles.
Because what I'm thinking is like they barely invested into him. So just scratch the last part of that. I still believe that they're more involved in Rhamondre Stevenson, but this is still a big loss, man. Because like it's still going to eat away. Rhamondre Stevenson needs everything, dude, in this offense to be productive.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah. That well said. He was actually one of my guys last year that I was like, oh, he's someone to aim for. He's going to be another top 10 running back. And it was because his 2022 season, he had 69 receptions. I'm like, what's going to change? I feel like he's going to get close to that again. And in PPR formats, that's an additional 70 points. So he's involved in the passing game, but he bring in Antonio Gibson, where lately, the last couple of years, his strength is the passing game. And Stevenson wants to be a feature back, most definitely. He said it in a report about a month ago. And Antonio Gibson's like, hey, man, I'm just here. I'm here to play. I'm here to have fun. Put me wherever you want me, coach. Like, I don't even care if I get injured. I'm not, I'm just doing my thing over here. And that's going to cut into Stevenson time, unfortunately.
Yeah, man. All right, Jason. I'm all Antonio Gibson, ESPN stats. I want to see all the stats, man. So that's fucking crazy. I mean, yeah, receiving 44. Yeah, he had 59. Yeah, he did have 48 receptions, so that stat was right. No, Jason. Jason, his career high. You must have been looking at something wrong. His career high is 48.
Of Rhamondre Stevenson?
Oh, fuck, Jason. So I was right. Wait.
Okay, yeah.
No, you're right. I mixed up the stats. Look at Tyler.
Look at Tyler.
So Antonio Gibson's coming off his career high receptions, and now he's going to eat into fucking dude, Tyler. All right, Jason.
On to the next one.
Next up, who you got?
Diontae Johnson.
Wow.
Well, Tyler, just remember that earlier I couldn't say expected.
Well, yeah, I fucked up my shit, dude.
Okay. Steelers went out and got an upgrade at quarterback, and then upgraded a backup quarterback as well, which is great, right? But then they traded Johnson to one of the worst teams in 2023, the Carolina Panthers. Johnson will be a year behind Adam Thielen and Jonathan Mingo for building chemistry with Bryce Young. I'm not bullish about Johnson because the Panthers in general were in the bottom 5 points scored per game, but Johnson could also be a sneaky player in 2024. They have the new head coach, Dave Cannolis, is good at teaching his quarterbacks to simplify feet movement and progression. And Carolina signed lineman Robert Hunt. He was a good lineman. And Damian Lewis. So signs are pointing for Young's gameplay to benefit Diontae Johnson. But Young was so bad last year, I will have to see it, before I believe it. I'm not a believer in him. But in the end, I also heard Diontae Johnson is kind of the cancer of teams. He was like picking fights with Kenny Pickett and Micah Fitzpatrick. Did you hear that, Tyler?
No, I did not. I knew he was lacking effort.
Yeah, so apparently he's kind of like a Terrell Owens, and whatever team he's going to, he's like bringing, he's cancerous. He's a disease. Which isn't good for, team building exercises.
Well, dude, so Adam Thielen's still there, right?
Yeah.
If Adam Thielen wasn't there and I knew that Bryce Young likes that slot wide receiver like all the goddamn time.
Yeah.
I would be like, dude, Diontae Johnson might be a huge steal, but Adam Thielen's going to be there, man. And what do you think they're going to do? You think they're going to move Adam Thielen somewhere? Or to the outside? If anything, they're going to move Diontae Johnson somewhere else. And because Adam Thielen literally cannot do anything else other than play the slot at this point in his career. So, yeah, I think there is a chance he does well. Like, dude, say Adam Thielen gets injured. Dave Canales is in there, Jason, a whole new coach. So there's a chance. But, yeah, as far as losers and winners go, yeah, I think that is a losing whatever. Yeah. I would probably rather had him stay with the Steelers and catch a bunch of passes from Russell Wilson, probably.
What Dave Cannolis is doing in that offense, that war room right now, he's fixing up the line. We already saw what he did with Geno Smith and Baker Mayfield. I mean, signs are pointing that Bryce Young is going to improve this next year, but how much? Like, he was so bad last year. How much of improvement will make a difference in fantasy for Diontae Johnson? Or Adam Thielen or Jonathan Mingo?
Yeah. Who's going to go first, Jason? Who would you rather? I mean, who's going to go first in drafts, Diontae Johnson or Adam Thielen?
Oh, you know what? Because of how well Adam Thielen played in the very beginning of the year, and Diontae Johnson was kind of just like hurt and cruising, I think Adam Thielen would go first.
Yeah, I think so too. But so I think I don't know who I'll like more value wise. I mean, I'm not in a hurry to go out and grab Adam Thielen with a new offensive system. So
yeah.
All right, Jason. Next up, man. This guy got shot 5 times and he doesn't run with a limp. Brian Robinson. So, Jason, we talked shit about this guy, or I did. In the first year, I was like, dude, this guy, his rookie year, I was like, this guy, man, he's not explosive whatsoever. And we covered this in an earlier episode. I'm trying to pull off my memory. And this year, dude, he had 0 runs over 20 yards or 40 yards last year. Well, he tripled or quadrupled that number this year. So he is like I think that it was year 2 in the system and everything, but I think coming off that injury, man, he got shot like right before the season, so fuck. But this season though, Jason finished the season as running back 21. Dude, he was lightning in a bottle for somebody like in the first half of the season. 24th in the league with 4.1 yards per carry. 22nd in explosive run rate. So I told you that he was not explosive whatsoever. And he took a huge step forward in that category this season, but he's still 22nd, man. So him as a player, he just not that athletic. 13th in yards after contact per attempt. That's not terrible. He was 5th in yards per route run and 12th in PFF's pass blocking grade. So he is a good pass catching running back, and he's a good pass catch, whatever blocker. But guess what, dude? Eckler just got signed, Jason, to Washington on a 2-year deal worth up to $11 million. Austin Eckler, he was asked, what can you provide to the Washington? He said, I'm all about that red zone, Jason. I'm all about those touchdowns. Yeah, you fucking were, dude. You were a long time ago when you didn't run 13 miles an hour. So, Jason, he ran 13 miles an hour and averaged 3.5 yards per carry. So to me, again, man, like, I do like this. I mean, this offense has a huge chance. I mean, they're going to be drafting somebody. No. Who'd they get? Who went to Washington, Jason?
No, they're going to be drafting Mays, right?
Yeah. Okay. I was like, wait, was there? Yeah. So they're going to want to run the ball a lot. They have, dude, what's his name is there now? He's from Seattle. Everything, dude, where they run the hell out of the ball. The Falcons run anyways, dude, what's his name, Jason? He's a defensive coordinator.
I know he came over from Seattle. I can't remember his name.
Dan Quinn. So.
Oh my gosh. No, he came from the Cowboys. What are we talking about?
So when I think about, I know, Seattle, the Cowboys, but I think about Dan Quinn wanting to run the ball a lot. So yeah, dude, I think there's going to be a lot of opportunity, but Jason, I think that these are 2 average running backs in the NFL. So I think that for Brian Robinson to fucking do well, to be a low-end running back too, he needs Antonio Gibson there to catch passes, and that's it. Now he's got Austin Eckler there, goal line shit, pass catching specialist. It's going to be a much worse scenario, rather than him only competing with Antonio Gibson.
Yeah, and part of the reason Brian Robinson Jr. kind of like had a better year last year is that his passing game really stepped up too. Like he had 5 touchdowns in receiving, 36 receptions for 368 yards. Oh no, wait, I'm sorry. He had 4 receiving touchdowns. But yeah, he had 36 receptions where he had 9 the previous year. And so Antonio Gibson's gone. You're like, okay, so now he's also going to be the 3-down back and he's going to get a lot more catches. But if I were them, because we kind of seen it, I would probably try to get Eckler more involved in the red zone because we know what he's capable of. I don't know if he could do it anymore. I don't think it's going to happen anymore, but he's done it in the past, so maybe that could be a game plan. They're going to try to get Austin Eckler more involved in the red zone than Brian Robinson.
Yeah, when I think of red zone, I was like, man, if he just had that burst, he used to have that short burst, and I had to watch a lot of Charger games this year, Jason. I didn't see that shit. All right, Mr. Jason, let's go. Who's next?
All right, DeAndre Hopkins.
Oh wow,
a newly loser. Hopkins finished the season as a top 25 receiver in points scored while averaging 13.2 points per game. Next Titans wide receiver was Nick Westbrook, averaging 6.5 points. Hopkins was the guy for the Titans receiving game. He was the only guy for the Titans receiving game. And he did well with Levis, which is very important. Since week 8, he had 7 games with over 10 points. Even though he put up some of his worst stats of his career, he was still startable as a flex. And week 8, this dude scored 38 points in week 8. It was crazy. So you can still put up the numbers. Now in 2024, he will be 32 years old, which isn't sexy at all, but he has shown he have rapport with Will Levis, and he will be the only wide receiver on the Titans until now. Welcome, Calvin Ridley. And they gave him wide receiver 1 numbers. He didn't have a great season with the Jaguars, but he is still a big body with route running skills, and he's coming off a 1,000-yard season. Also, the Titans picking up Tony Pollard, means both running backs are pass catching running backs. DeAndre Hopkins will be losing targets in 2024, which means less opportunities to score you points, unfortunately.
Yeah, man. And unfortunately for Calvin Ridley, he's going to be downgraded as well. So, well, and like we said, dude, the Titans making the dumbest moves of the entire offseason. They didn't want to pay Derrick Henry. They got Tony Pollard in there. Glass hands. He doesn't break his hands. He just breaks his legs, you know? That's not a big deal. And what they didn't want to pay, AJ Brown, dude, let him go before his fucking prime. And now they're paying Calvin Ridley. That's a bad bet, Jason. That's a bad bet. You get it? So I think one of the worst off seasons was the Titans, Jason. And now that Will Levis has tape on him and stuff, you know, people didn't like him, and he did better than people thought. So yeah, dude, D-Hop. And like you said, Calvin Ridley, they have way more invested into him now, Jason. So I would not be surprised if they ended up trading D-Hop when they're sucking dick or sucking bad. You know, they're 0-4.
Yeah.
And they'll trade D-Hop over Ridley. So I don't know. I think that D-Hop I will probably draft D-Hop, but it's going to be like round 12 or 13. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's going to be one of those late rounders. Maybe it's not. Wait, what's a sleeper? No.
Yeah.
What's like a sleeper? No, what's a middle round gym? I'm trying to think of the gym.
Mid-round, there's a gym. Is it mid-round gym? Can't remember.
Maybe it's mid-round gym. He's going to be past that. Fool's gold.
All right, Jason. Let's see.
All right. I got one more.
And what'd you say?
I got one more.
Oh, I got two more. Whose time is it? Or is it my turn?
Oh, it is your turn. Shit.
I was like, hey, I got two more. How does that work, Jason?
Yeah. The math ain't mathin'. Okay, yeah, it's your turn.
Hey, man, this guy was a rookie. Wide receiver 23 he finished fantasy-wise. That's pretty goddamn good considering his starting quarterback was injured 3/4 of the year. And with that starting quarterback, he scored 33% more fantasy points, Jason. Dude, fourth in receiving touchdowns. He's a rookie. Fourth in receiving touchdowns with 10. So he is good in the end zone, man. Where it matters for fantasy the most. So, his opportunity might go down with the new quarterback here. But at least he's good in the end zone. So, I don't know. He'll make up. He might be a wash, next season. It might not be such a loser because his strength will kind of cover that. But yeah, dude, 12.2 points per game, 4 receiving touchdowns without Justin Jefferson, 10.1 fantasy points per game, 6 touchdowns with Justin Jefferson. So, Jason, Jordan Addison, man, 4 touchdowns without Justin Jefferson, 6 touchdowns with Justin Jefferson. So, you will not be afraid, you should not be afraid of drafting Jordan Addison super late, use him as a flex with that touchdown upside, and hope that Sam Darnold, for God's sakes, man, can fucking do something with his life. He's got all the talent in the world. He should know the system, man, coming from Shanahan. And I don't know why I said it like that. And dude, Hawkinson, another factor here, Hawkinson tore his ACL, MCL, and likely won't be fully healthy until, well into the season. And he was a target hog, dude. Like, it didn't matter which quarterback was back there. He's getting 10 targets a game. He was like the number 1 tight end in fantasy for a while before his leg went in 3 different directions. Dude, Kirk Cousins, though, went to Atlanta. That is the big main factor to making this Jordan Addison a loser. And Justin Jefferson, more than likely, with this offense, it will not matter. He will still be a winner, Jason. Justin Jefferson is going to be kind of like that Jamar Chase. And even with Browning going in there, he gets hyper-targeted, man. It's like 12 guaranteed targets a game. Justin Jefferson will be just fine. Sam Darnold is only 26 years old, Jason. He signed a 1-year deal worth $10 million. So it's only 1 year. I am hoping the Vikings draft a young quarterback. And Sam Darnold is more like that Nick Mullins. If you remember Nick Mullins last year for them, he did pretty goddamn good. And he came from the 49ers just like Sam Darnold is coming from the 49ers. So you should expect, Nick Mullins' numbers, maybe with some upside from Sam Darnold with the Vikings this season. And that makes me want maybe 2 wide receivers wide receiver 1, Justin Jefferson, wide receiver 3, maybe a flex in Addison. Jason, how do you feel about all that?
I have some insight for you that you want to hear this.
Oh God,
No, this is good. Don't
I
tell
thought I
anybody.
had a mistake.
No. It's not a mistake. But don't tell anybody I'm telling you this, because this is going to change the outlook of the Minnesota Vikings and your fantasy draft. Jordan Addison is going to be Sam Darnold's favorite wide receiver.
Oh, USC. God damn it.
USC! Fight on! Go Trojans! You always got to remember college, man. Remember college, man.
I think I'm gonna do that short, Jason. I'm gonna be like, blah blah blah, do a bunch of stupid Addison shit, and at the end you're gonna be like, remember USC, baby. That's a good point, Jason. I mean, they didn't go at the same time, but hey,
right.
Alumni,
brother.
Yeah, it's not a bad deal.
So Addison averaged 6.35 targets last season. Do you think that it's going to be higher or lower this upcoming season with Sam Darnold?
I think he had a 17% target share, and when you say that, like, per targets, whatever, I'm thinking target share. And if you're telling me that Hawkinson is out, I almost guarantee, not Hawkinson out, but limited for a while, I almost guarantee, dude, Addison will remain with that 17% target share. Now, it sucks KJ Osborne just got re-signed as well, but fuck KJ Osborne. He's not nearly the player that Addison is. So, yeah, dude, I believe that the 17% will stick. So, yeah, I think it's going to be okay for him. But then when Hawkinson comes back, I can see that dropping to like 15% or something like that.
What if they start Penix?
Oh, dear God, dude. If they get Penix, man, I will be it'll be 2 wide receivers in the top 15, Jason. He might get the same percentage, but the scoring opportunities and the long bombs, dude, will be insane. Like, literally will be crazy. If Penix gets drafted and he starts, the long bombs to Addison will be it will be a league-winning fucking thing, Jason.
People are saying they just want Penix to throw a ball in the NFL so they can record it and use it like at NFL films, like to see the perfect spiral, because they keep talking about how well of the spiral this guy could throw.
Hi, dog. You got one more. Let's hear it.
Yeah, you know what? We're not going to go far. We're going to stay with the same team, and let's talk about Ty Chandler.
Oh.
Ty Chandler. If this were a double elimination, Chandler would be the first out because he lost big time. He's a double loser. He got a quarterback downgrade, and now Aaron Jones is a Viking. So he just dropped and dropped and dropped and dropped. With Madison losing the starting role last year, then getting cut, the starting job belonged to the 25-year-old. Week 15 for Ty Chandler was Ty Chandler's breakout game. He had 24 points, and that was good enough for RB4 on the week. And yes, Tyler, I know you're asking, he was on my bench that week. But what I saw is that he had 26 total touches in that game. So I felt I had to start him for the rest of the playoffs, right? I'm like, dude, this guy's going to get 25-plus touches a game. I want him in there. I want him on my team. Well, he scored me 7, 9, and 10 points, and he finished RB 18 weeks 15 through 18. So he didn't do well for me. I kind of fudged up right there. I fudged up. He didn't reach 20 touches again, which was frustrating because of the Vikings quarterback play at that time. I expected Chandler to handle the ball more to relieve stress off the quarterbacks, but that's not what happened. He was a letdown for fantasy managers, but with news of Madison being cut and Kirk Cousins returning, he becomes interesting because he will be a starter for an offense that puts up like 25 points a game. But now I expect him to play more of a behind, like a backup role to Aaron Jones, and I think there could be a chance, the Vikings are not scoring 25 points a game like they did with Kirk Cousins. So I believe his values drop.
Dude, Ty Chandler, Jason, if you watch those games, he was the best running back they had over the last couple seasons, probably. And, no, Dalvin Cook was there, I guess, dude. Dalvin Cook, like I said, Dalvin Cook last year, or the year before last, wasn't that great either. So, yeah, man. And what do I always say about the Vikings offense? I say there are so many fantasy football points left on the field for the running backs there, Jason. Like, so many. And Ty Chandler had a couple 20-point games, man. Like, he was doing well. He was actually getting those points. Now we have Aaron Jones, dude, like a bona fide badass running back who is super motivated to help the Vikings win the NFC North, man. So I think the Vikings are going to run Aaron Jones. He's going to be a bell cow running back-ish. I mean, as far as like, he'll probably get 20 touches a game until his wheels fall off, man. I will be looking to get Aaron Jones in probably this. I wish I could get him in the third round, Jason, but maybe late second. I don't know. He's going to be, as long as he's healthy, he's guaranteed points, dude. He's going to be like a running back. He's going to put up running back 1 numbers if he's healthy with a lot of upside, man. Fuck, dude. But yeah, Ty Chandler had his chance. I'm glad that they're moving on from him because he really is just a better backup running back.
I think Chandler, there was no doubt about his skill. I think he could play. But like I said, he had 26 touches against that game against the Bengals where he put up 24 points. But then the next game after that, 9 touches. Game after that, 11 touches. It's hard for someone to be fantasy relevant if you're only getting the ball a handful of times. And that was the most frustrating part about it.
All right, Jason. Next up, man. Let's see. This running back finished the season as running back 32 last year. Now he gets to go to a offensive line that was 31st in the league. They let their quarterback get sacked, what, like 85, 89 times, I think, or something like that. The second most, the team with the second most sacks, or the team with the second most sacks allowed was like 65. So, like 89 to 65, man, this offensive line is like the worst in the goddamn league. So, Devin Singletary, dude, finished the season, like I said, running back 32. Woo! Singletary, he was not even supposed to be the starter. So, that's why he finished running back 32. He signed a 1-year deal with the Texans last year and took the starting job from Dameon Pierce. He was actually running back 9, Jason, from week 10 on, averaging 19.3 opportunities per game. Like, if you watch those games, dude, he just ran. They ran the ball so much, dude. They were not afraid to run the shit out of that ball, dude, coming from the 49ers and everything. So 24th in the league with 4.1 yards per carry. Not very efficient, but still, man, given the opportunity, he can do something. He signed a 3-year deal with the Giants, man. So the Giants with the 31st, they are 31st in run blocking win rate or whatever at 67%. Now Houston was 25th, so it wasn't like Houston was amazing, but they were much better, Jason, than the Giants, and they got better as the year went on. The Giants just stayed shit the entire year. He does have Gary Brightwell to compete with, but that does not matter because Saquon is gone. Yeah, man. So the big thing here is he went to a team that is all his pretty much with an offensive coach, with the quarterback that likes to run the ball. So they're probably going to be, it's going to be a running scheme with the Giants. But the offensive line, Jason, is the fucking worst ever. I will not be drafting Devin Singletary whatsoever, dude. I didn't want to draft Saquon Barkley last year. And even he couldn't do much, man. So until we see something out of the Giants, I'm not drafting Devin Singletary, Jason.
Yeah, I think Saquon Barkley only had like 4 or 6 touchdowns last year. So, Devin Singletary played on the Bills for most of his career, and he didn't even get over 200 yards or 200 attempts. Then he goes to the Texans and finally gets his career high in 216 attempts. They were using this guy, and this is something that, like, fantasy managers wanted. But, you're not going to get that in Buffalo. He had to go to the Texans and do it. And you're like seeing it like, dude, this is what we've been waiting for. This is what we've been craving. Devin Singletary. And then he goes to the Giants. And it's like, dude, it doesn't matter if this guy gets 250 attempts with that offensive line. He's not going to do well next year. He does catch the ball, which is good. But that offensive line, dude, if Saquon Barkley wasn't able to do it, Devin Singletary is definitely not going to do it.
I can hear your dog, Jason.
Shut up!
All right, everybody, that is the show. Remember, man, if you could think of some big time losers, let us know down in the comments and we'll talk about it. Hey, hopefully we earned a thumbs up, man. Hopefully we earned a subscription. Like I said, we need it. We will get on our knees and beg. I'm on my knees right now and I'm begging. Please, please. I'm on my knees pretty, please kill me. I want to die.
Where's that? What's that?
Put a bullet in my head.
That good,
You
Charlotte?
Oh, dude, that was fucking The Wedding Singer, Adam Sandler.
What? Oh, dude. Okay, yeah. I was like, I haven't seen that in so long.
It's a good movie. All right, Jason, please send us out.
All right, we got a video coming out Saturday morning. Check us out if you want to know the worst thing and the best thing about NFL teams in the AFC East.
Yes, thank you. This is the Fantasy Red Zone, and we do appreciate you